Hello there. Have you fallen into an open manhole recently? Do you find yourself in the company of strangers? Well, then you might very well be in the feature underground. My name is Hunter Linear. This time I'm here with something a little bit different. Instead of reviewing a new movie, I thought I'd give some of my hopes and fears for an upcoming movie that I have not seen yet. In this case, it is the upcoming Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold and starring Timothée Chalamet. The reason I picked this movie out of all the movies that are on the slate for this year is because I happen to be a Bob Dylan fan. As you might be able to tell by my complete bootleg series here, I have other stuff over there. I've got books. I've got the Philosophy of Modern Song behind me. I think I have his autobiography. I have his autobiography in the fiction section, which is over here. That's important. So I figured what I'll do is I'll watch the trailer and then kind of comment throughout it and then go into greater detail. So let's watch the trailer right now. Searchlight Pictures. All right, we have Dylan walking. That looks like a Dylan walk. We have Edward Norton as Pete Seeger. He actually looks pretty good. He's got the balding down very well. Chelsea Hotel, famous hotel. I've heard Leonard Cohen and Janis Joplin have had good times there. The motorcycle. I do like the idea of a Dylan biopic ending with the famous motorcycle crash. I don't think they're going to do that here. You can see James Mangold, he's leaning on a lot of the famous Dylan photography at the time, of him performing in the light, giving him this saint-like glow, which you see a lot in the photography of his concerts at the time. Chalamet's here singing. You know, he's not lip syncing, he's doing the singing. It sounds pretty good to me. Elle Fanning is playing Susie Rotolo, but they changed her name for the movie based on supposedly Dylan asking for that. You see him becoming disillusioned with fame here, which will be a running theme in his life. We're getting into like 64, 65 Dylan. This scene that the trailer ends on is part of the worry for me for this movie. Jay Cox, the screenwriter, we'll talk about that. Okay, so let's start with my trepidations about this movie. Bob Dylan, to me, the reason I'm such a big Bob Dylan fan, and I became a Bob Dylan fan initially, it wasn't just the music. It was the whole Bob Dylan persona. You know, to me, an artist is a failure when they are chasing trends, when they're trying to anticipate what an audience wants and then give it to them. Now, what an artist should be is someone who blazes a path, and not necessarily even a path forward, but simply blazes a path in any which direction. They create work based on what they want, and if an audience follows them, great. If an audience isn't into it, fine, who cares? An artist their life should be about making things because it's compulsive and inevitable and they can't help it. It shouldn't be trying to maintain fame for as long as possible by chasing trends and keeping people happy. An artist should not be on their knees begging people to like them. And Bob Dylan is the antithesis of all of that. And in some ways, the antithesis of what our culture is right now, which is very much built on chasing fame and then maintaining it, as well as trying to anticipate what people want and then give that thing to them. Bob Dylan, throughout his entire career, over and over again, did whatever he wanted to do, oftentimes to the dismay of his fans, but I think it worked out. Because of all of that, and because of this movie, which is a big studio movie, it's directed by James Mangold, who is very much in that circle of studio directors. You know, I've liked a lot of his movies. I liked Walk the Line. I liked 3:10 to Yuma. I liked Logan. I didn't see the Indiana Jones movie he made, because why would you? But he is a safe studio director. The movie stars the it guy at the moment. So the fact that all of these things coming together makes me worry a little bit about how subversive the movie actually will be, and as an extension, how true it will be to Bob Dylan. I'm worried it's going to be a very traditional biopic that is more of a who do we want, looking back, who do we want Bob Dylan to have been, rather than who he was and who he continues to be. Bob Dylan, for all the transformations throughout his career, he really has had a consistent character. So it shouldn't be that difficult to grasp. And if you don't grasp it, it's because you choose not to and you want to do something else. Now, James Mangold did give an interview in Rolling Stone where he talked about having a conversation with Dylan after Dylan read the script. I'm going to read how Mangold described the story to Dylan. It's about a guy who's choking to death in Minnesota and leaves behind all his friends and family and reinvents himself in a brand new place, makes new friends, builds a new family, becomes phenomenally successful, starts to choke to death again, and runs away. And Dylan, allegedly, according to Mangold, smiled and said, "I like that." This description of the movie heartens me, because this very much is the pattern of Dylan's career, which is always trying to avoid the trappings of fame. You see it when you watch old interviews of him from the 60s. There's that famous press conference where he never really wants to be there. And there actually is the scene in the trailer where Chalamet is playing A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. The look on his face, he does, I think, accurately capture that look of Dylan performing and seemingly not wanting to be there, or at least not wanting to be in front of so many people. And that kind of natural antipathy toward the crowd and the crowd mentality, which Dylan was always juking. The fact that the movie ends with supposedly him at the Newport Folk Festival going electric in that moment, that is a huge moment in the Bob Dylan chronology. That makes sense to me, and I'm okay with that concept. We have not seen Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash. It would have been cool to have Joaquin Phoenix come back as Johnny Cash and have a little weird Mangold 60s country folk cinematic universe. That's not going to happen. I'm hopeful for the movie. I want it to be good. I want to like it. I'm worried about the mainstreaminess of it all and how true it's going to be to the Bob Dylan character. The other thing is that we've already gotten a pretty good Bob Dylan movie in Todd Haynes' I'm Not There, which is very much the opposite of what A Complete Unknown appears to be, which is a very traditional biopic. I'm Not There did take a unique approach to trying to capture the elusiveness of the Bob Dylan character, breaking the Bob Dylan persona into all these pieces and having a different actor portray each one. We also have Inside Llewyn Davis by the Coen brothers, in which a Bob Dylan makes an appearance at the end. That movie is very much, it uses Dave Van Ronk as a kind of loose foundation, but it is set in Greenwich Village during that time, early 60s. Portrays the person that was with Dylan and performed with Dylan and was kind of Dylan-ish, but just he was kind of stuck playing the same old songs the same old way. He didn't have that thing Dylan had, which is take something old and make it new and take it a little further, add something new to it. So I want to like A Complete Unknown. I hope I do. I have worries, I have fears, but I have hopes as well. So let me know what you think of A Complete Unknown, if you're looking forward to it, what you think about Timothée Chalamet as an actor. Do you think he can pull off Dylan? I typically find him to be a little on the wooden side, but that might actually help with Dylan's disconnectedness and not quite wanting to be a part of anything, not wanting to be roped into any kind of movement. Like the video, subscribe if you have not done so, and I'll see you next time. I think, just as a little tease, as always, I have received a 4K, the new 4K transfer of The Conversation, so I think I might do a review of that. I am seeing Alien Romulus on Monday. The review embargo lifts on Wednesday, which is the 14th, I believe. So look forward to all that stuff. And as always, every day underground is a good day.
Use the word destiny over and over throughout the book. What does that mean to you?
It's a feeling you have that you know something about yourself nobody else does. The picture you have in your mind of what you're about will come true. That's kind of a thing you kind of have to keep to your own self because it's a fragile feeling and you put it out there, somebody will kill it. So it's best to keep that all inside.